From Simon Scott Assembly Hall on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, CBS Sports presents the Big Ten. It's the 17th-ranked Maryland Terrapins and the surging Indiana Hoosiers. The Big Ten, the highest-rated conference in the country, 12 teams in the top 50. And in the conference, 8 teams within 2 games near the midway point of the conference schedule. It is going to be a wild finish. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan with Jimmy Spanarkel. It's very clear this is a huge game in this conference.
Kevin, and this is going to be fun also because Maryland's coming off 2 wins, so they've been playing pretty good basketball in the conference. The one thing about them, though, is they get off to very, very bad starts. So in this building, they really have to keep their poise and confidence. On the other side with Indiana, Archie Miller coming off a huge win against Michigan State. He mentioned to us before the game, we limit our turnovers. We don't make mistakes early. It'll be very, very important for them. But keep in mind, he knows what he has here on the home floor in terms of this crowd.
Jim, this now takes us to a look at our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Yeah, Jalen Smith has really come on, especially in conference play where he's averaging 16 points and 9 rebounds. An interior player, but stepping away to shoot the ball also. Trace Jackson Davis, watch for him getting his touches underneath the basket. Both of these guys very good around the rim offensively, and Kevin also defensively. They'll deflect and block a bunch of shots.
And the 9th-year coach of the Terrapins is Mark Turgeon. 17 straight winning seasons, Wichita State, A&M, Texas A&M, and now in College Park. Here are the lineups. Cowan is the much talked about senior. And Jalen Smith has had 2 consecutive double-doubles for the Terrapins. Finney plays the point, and everyone's talking about Joey Brunk's performance the other night against the Spartans here. Trace Jackson Davis, one of the best freshmen in the country for Coach Archie Miller in his 3rd year after 6 years at the University of Dayton. 15-4 Indiana, 15-4 Maryland.
Let's go, let's go, Hoosiers! Let's go! Let's go!
As you saw, each team 5-3 in the conference. Terrific officials this afternoon. Paul Sells has been officiating Division I basketball for 18 years, 5 NCAA tournaments. Brian Dorsey, 12 NCAAs and a Final Four he's officiated. And Rob Kuhneman with 2 NCAA tournaments on his resume. It's the Hoosiers hosting the Terrapins. They've played once, and Maryland, Jim Spanarkel took care of them handily back in early January.
Yeah, one of the things with that game, Kevin, was the fact that they gave up 21 points off turnovers, Indiana. They just couldn't get their rhythm. They were down about 30 points in that game, so it's so important to see how they start in this afternoon's game.
Marcel on top. Smith has got him defensively. That is a 3, and it's right down the hatch. Jalen Smith, as we said, 2 consecutive double-doubles and a nice 3 right there.
Yeah, and on the season, only shooting 25% from the 3-point line, but conference play, he's really upped his numbers in terms of the overall shooting, so watch for him to continue to step out.
Finney has it. Now they go to Jackson Davis, handing off to Al Durham. There's a little offensive foul, and it's going to go on the freshman, Jackson Davis, number 1 for that Indiana freshman.
Yeah, he's got to remain out of foul trouble, but look at that little dish to the side. That's going to bring Brunk out off the blocks down low. So who's going to go out and guard Jalen Smith if he's shooting the ball that well?
The Terrapins have won 2 in a row and 5 of 7 as they come in. On the road, 1-4. They have struggled there, but a nice win the other night up at Evanston against Northwestern. Morcell on the shot clock at 9, looking down low, and it's out of the reach of Jalen Smith.
Both of these teams, and Mark Turgeon also from the Maryland side, as with Archie Miller, they like to run a lot of sets. They like to keep the middle of the floor open, especially the Maryland end if they get Smith to kind of go out on the perimeter. So watch, especially in Indiana, watch how often they set a high screen, go to the right side of the floor. Now they'll come back to the left. They'll look for a duck down here for Jackson Davis or Brunk. There it is if they want it. Oh, bad pass though.
They're looking down low for Brunk, the Butler transfer, and it's thrown away, and a turnover. Justin Smith, and there's Brunk, who was terrific the other night against Michigan State. 14 points and 6 rebounds. Hoosiers have won 2 in a row. They have won 4 of 5. Indiana has won 7 of 10, changing gear at the right time.
Good hands to step in there to help out by Smith.
Here's the other Smith, Jalen Smith on top. Morcell tries to penetrate. And on the wing,
Both of these teams have been really struggling from the outside collectively.
Jalen Smith, that is a three. Oh, he's hit 2 in a row from outside.
Boy, and I will take a shooter's touch like that on the road all day long if you can get it. I love the rims.
Inside, nice move, and he got it to go. Big play. Jackson Davis comes up with 2. Pretty pirouette inside for the Hoosiers.
He's been a factor as a young player for them, and watch this here with the kick. You know, when you get a big guy shooting the basketball from the outside, 6'10", you just imagine that it's going to come off a little harder, but here he comes into the middle of the lane, making it happen, keeping in mind that he is a lefty. So he has that little bit of an advantage, I think, when people go up to defend him.
He is Indiana's leading scorer. He is the Hoosiers' leading rebounder.
Look at those numbers, Kevin. Last 2 games, 23 of 40 from the free throw line. Not going to cut it on a night-in, night-out basis in this conference.
You said it. Little trap on top. Marcel Brunk, the big man, comes up. Cowan goes against Finney inside, penetrating, and it's picked up by Jackson Davis, and ahead it goes now to Durham.
Good push.
Justin Smith, knocked away with a big rejection by Dante Scott, a freshman.
Beautiful timing, too, because there was a guy in front of him to slow the driver down.
Cowan, 3, puts it down. That's the 3rd 3 for Maryland.
And one of the concerns about Indiana is making sure they find him on the delayed jump shots. He loves to come down, be a delayed trailer, and shoot the ball from 3-point range. Cowan, that is.
Cowan's only shooting 25% in Big Ten play. Another spinner inside. Jackson Davis can't. Look at Brunk wiping the floor, but picked up by Marcel, and he may have traveled. They don't call it. Ayala, he puts up a 3, the 4th 3 by the Terrapins. What a start. And in Big Ten conference play, Ayala is now 6 of 34 from 3.
And the thing about it is they've taken the crowd out of this game early on in the first approximate 4 minutes.
Finney, that's a 3.
Yeah, another guy coming off 8 points against and 4 assists against Michigan State. But one of the guys who is their real leader, when they get a tough spot, they go to him. So let's see how it all develops. So far, so good with the tempo and the pace of this game, especially for Maryland.
And by the way, Indiana dead last in every significant three-point shooting category. Marcel will drive. Nice defense in there by Justin Smith.
Yeah, a little late there, but he made an athletic play to get back on it.
It's Finney the other way. He is a sophomore from Lafayette, Indiana.
Get it to the blocks a little bit. There you go.
Jackson Davis corkscrewing. Yeah, look at Smith was right there.
He sure was.
3, Finney.
Nice inside-outside look, though. You want to establish Jackson Davis on the blocks. They did exactly that. What does Jackson Davis do? He's patiently looking around Smith to make a nice outlet diagonal pass for the J.
A combined 6 of 6 three-point shooting for these teams so far.
They shoot 30%, both of them on the season, too. Did I just hear you say 6 for 6?
Yes, 6 for 6. Ayala with a 3. Big rebound inside. Smith, he'll jam it home. Jalen Smith from Baltimore. He's got 8 quick points for the Terps.
Yeah, Brunk a little late on that one, too. Did not block out. You cannot allow Smith to just roam around underneath there looking for opportunities.
Justin Smith.
Oh,
pretty shot indeed. He's known for his defense, top 5 in Big Ten steals. He had 6 the other night against Michigan State.
And need I say, was that a mid-range jumper?
It was indeed.
Bring it back. Bring it back. I love it. You don't see enough of it. Nice high screen. Oh, little trouble. Lost his footing.
Ayala loses the ball.
He was touching the out of bounds, I believe, when he touched the basketball.
Ayala lost the ball, and they had to chase it. Maryland right now by 3.
If Finney can shoot the basketball, but I love the pass from the inside to the out. Look at the rhythm. Perfectly delivered right on the money. So all of a sudden, the Indiana Hoosiers are shooting it well, but so are Maryland, especially underneath with this guy.
ES Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, in 2002, in the Final Four, we saw these two schools meet in the national championship. Juan Dixon, a game high 18 for the Terps. He was the MOP, the most outstanding player. Gary Williams, the Terrapins won that one by 12. School's first and only national title. Well, they're playing with a lot of ferocity today. There's a look at Mark Turgeon. He has been a coach of the year in the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the Missouri Valley Conference. His resume says it all.
And I'm sure he's delighted with the way his team has started here. I asked him about that when we were talking to him. And he said, I said, what's up with your slow starts? He said, well, it would help to make a couple of shots, and they've done that to start this game.
Wiggins has come in now for the Terrapins.
Little zone look here, too.
Wiggins on the side. His long shot will drop. My goodness, that's another three. And the Terrapins from outside have been right on the money, 4 of 5. That shot is good from outside. A beauty put in by Jerome Hunter.
Boy, you just could, pace just keeps going here, back and forth.
Jerome Hunter from 3 had only been 3 of 12 until that time in the conference.
Just not expected in the scouting reports. I'm sure what's happening here, Kevin, is these guys are, because they're punching it in real deep. You see Indiana right now, they're forcing it to the perimeter, but both sides are shooting it well.
Ricky Lindo has also come in. Shot clock is down to 6. Outside, that is another 3. It's off by Cowan. It's saved inside by Smith. Ahead it goes. Here goes Green. Devontae Green off the bench. And that's another 3-point try right there by Hunter No. And Brunk tried to get a hold of it. And coming up with it is Jalen Smith inside.
Yeah, pretty good box out, too, because Justin Smith on the right side got a full hand on that tip in, but because he was blocked out, couldn't direct it.
Getting a taste of both benches here early in this one.
Now watch the way Brunk comes out. So that should open up opportunities right there. That's a 2-on-1, a diagonal pass, because Brunk comes out very, very far.
Cowan is in the 3, chased down by the long reach of Lindo. He came off the bench the other night. Good defense for him, as it was for Wiggins. Off the glass and down the hatch for 2.
Yeah, Wiggins gets it going for this Maryland team. You know, it's interesting. Mark Turgeon said Wiggins and the other 5 starters, whenever they shoot, he just thinks every shot's going in.
There's Brunk with a rebound pulled down by Jalen Smith.
And that's confidence from your coach to your players, trying to get them to continue shooting.
Quick double on Ayala.
Yeah, see, that's a mistake.
3, Smith got it again. He's hit another one. Jalen Smith coming off a career-high 25 at Northwestern Tuesday. He's got 11 already, 4 of 4 from 3.
One of the things Indiana does at the defensive end, Kevin, and we saw it just then, is they bring Brunk up to double team to hedge the cut. And if you're quick, you can make things happen as Cowan goes the other end with it.
Cowan will take it, puts it up and in. And Smith has hit 3 threes and a mid-range shot. All that with the Cowan layup right there, giving Maryland their biggest lead of 10 early on CBS.
Maryland with a good start here, but watch what happens. You get a quick hitter here to the right side of the floor, because Brunk goes out and double teams. And if you're a smart guard, not only do you try to back one dribble away, but then you can get that pass diagonally to him. And here's that nice defensive effort. Cowan runs the floor all by himself for an easy one. But I think the adjustment, they do it just about every play on the pick and roll high side defensively. Brunk has to make better decisions quicker and then go find his man. As you see, a 1-3-1 zone right now. And I'm sure they're going to pay a little bit more attention to Green here. And Finney shooting the basketball from the outside.
Finney's got it now. 7-0 Maryland run in 36 seconds. We're down to 10 seconds on the clock. And Jackson Davis got the good feed from up top.
So what do you do against a 1-3-1? Kevin, sometimes you attack the corners. But if you think about it, 1-3-1, the baseline is 2 guys generally down there. They give you a quick opportunity to get a 2-for-1. That's a terrific set just then.
Cowan, cross-court feed. Long shot, Smith. Terrell Smith with a rebound inside. Jackson Davis. That'll be a foul on Maryland with a bump. With moments to go, Trace Jackson Davis with a nice dunk inside.
Watch it against the 1-3-1 also. You can see it looking, developing. Now he blocks out. He gets a block out on his man and slips to the basket, finishes it off. Nice delivery by Indiana in a half-court set against the zone.
Assist for Devontae Green. Terrapins here in Bloomington on top of Indiana 24-16. A real pleasure now to welcome in the new commissioner, the elected commissioner Kevin Warren from the Big Ten, who joins us here, one of his first public appearances in this college basketball season. First, congratulations, and your resume is phenomenal with experience in the NFL, in college sports, in law. You played college basketball, but what a wonderful way to come into this conference with all the things you present. A great replacement for Jim Delaney.
Yeah, what a great atmosphere today.
Yes, it sure is.
Truly is a blessing. I mean, Jim has been great to me, and it was great during the transition. And I'm so happy to be at IU today and see a great basketball game. And this is what Big Ten basketball stands for.
Kevin, talk a little bit, if you would, about your goals and objectives with your background, a combination of not only athletics, but also obviously a very, very high resume on the educational side. Talk a little bit, if you would, about your objectives and how you're merging those for the college athlete these days.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that we need to remember what we're here for, and that's to provide an environment to educate our student athletes, to allow them to compete at the highest level. And I'm really focused on making sure that we keep the student athletes at the center of all of our discussions, to create an environment that focuses on health and wellness. So mental health and wellness, financial literacy, talk to them about voter registration, create an atmosphere where they can come and get a world-class education at one of our 14 unbelievable schools, but compete at a high level from a competition standpoint.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a very intelligent way to present it, because I think nowadays, and I know you have children, I have children, Kevin does, I think there's been a little disconnect over the years with that, so it has to be refocused a bit.
Yeah, we you know, in certain areas, you know, I can say that we need to get refocused.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, anytime you make sure you keep the student athlete at the epicenter of all of your decisions and choices, you're going to be fine.
So you spent a little time at the Palestra playing basketball.
Absolutely.
I played a little bit at Cameron Indoor Stadium, and now we're sitting here in one of the best arenas. What do you think atmosphere-wise? How do they all compare?
I remember when I visited the University of Pennsylvania and saw the streamers come out.
Okay.
I said, this is where I want to come to school. I mean, these are the venues that we need to make sure we protect and preserve. And the Palestra in Philadelphia, I have great memories there. And Cameron Indoor at Duke, and to have you play there and to see you play here, and then to come to an arena like this is absolutely amazing. This is really what college basketball is all about.
Well, I read one of your stories about when you were a young child, you had an accident.
Yes.
And I got a kick out of, not the accident
Right.
part, but you wanted to turn into swimming.
Yeah.
I believe, if I have this correct, you negotiated with your parents.
That's right.
Put a pool in your
That's
yard
right.
so you could swim.
That's right.
So you started negotiating before law school.
That's right. They let me take a portion of the settlement to build my pool in our backyard. And I actually wrote a book about it, and it's coming out, Build Your Own Pool. And it's really about when you face challenges in life that you got to invest in yourself. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity. I learned so much, and to be able to come back and play college basketball is
The
amazing.
Big Ten's new commissioner, Kevin Warren, with us. And look at the conference, so deep, the deepest in college basketball. It's been terrific right now. I guess when we take a look, here's another three-point shot for Indiana. The worst three-point shooting team in the conference, Kevin. You played some college basketball, so you know about it in the Ivy League and the Grand Canyon. I mean, this three-point line makes every game close now in the game, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, it just brings so much energy. And now, I mean, you see smaller guards and even up to centers being able to shoot the three, and that just makes college basketball exciting. And one of the things I'm looking forward to is to watch CBS host the semis and the Final Four again, and the championship game. I think it's 22 straight years that CBS has carried the college basketball semis and championship. And so I'm really honored to have you all as a partner in the Big Ten, to the work that you both have done and the way that you present the games in a wonderful manner.
And I would close by saying that we mentioned Jim Delaney at the very top. The work he's done, the way he's built this conference, the expansion, the Big Ten Network, so much. His fingerprints are all over the successes of this conference that you now will get the torch passed from him.
Yeah, I had an hour conversation with Jim yesterday we stay in close conversation and really just thank him for everything that he has done and let him know this is my first visit to a campus, and I think it's very apropos to make it here at Indiana.
And Kevin, being a Jersey guy, Rutgers. You know that name, Rutgers? All of a sudden, they're making a splash in the Big Ten.
Right, to see them play well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to go see them play. And that's what makes this conference so great, is that we have so much depth, top to bottom, 5 teams in the top 25. And it's going to be interesting to see how the tournament shakes out. And hopefully we can have a team that does well and gets an opportunity to play in the Final Four and maybe even win a national championship this year.
Well, you got 2 teams that may make the tournament right here. Kevin, thank you so much for coming by. Another basket inside. This is some kind of game. I know you're going to enjoy it with the capacity crowd here, but congratulations. Thank you for coming by. We look forward to crossing your paths many times, CBS and the Big Ten.
And thank you to your dad. He's an iconic person in the NFL and everything that he did for the National Football League and me personally, I really appreciate what he is good for.
Kevin, thank you so much.
God bless your family.
Same to you.
Jim,
thank you so much.
Let's have a great season.
Congratulations again.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
The new commissioner of the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, they couldn't have picked a better person to take over for a terrific Jim Delaney, who is retiring. We continue here. We've had 3 shots made. We've had all kinds of terrific play by both teams, as we have a 32-24 lead for Maryland.
Yeah, and the pace hasn't stopped at all. I mean, one of the things you continue to look for is the aggressiveness on the Maryland end, and I think what they're showing is just terrific confidence as a unit, trying to take this crowd out of the game as much as possible. Look at Smith cutting around down low. He's inside and outside Kevin, so they really have to keep a focus on him as the shot clock winds down. Their quick hitter coming up.
Iowa outside will drive and kick, and he finally finds Dante Scott. Another 3-point shot. The 3-point shooting in this game off the charts. Maryland has gone 8 of 13, and Indiana has gone 5 of 7 to start this one.
And another zone look right here to spread it out a little bit. Maryland, nice little kick down to the middle of the floor. And look at the closure. Maryland squeezed in the middle of the floor. I think both of these teams are still going to force this shot outside as much as they can.
Right on the doorstep, Justin Smith can't hit for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, this is 4-on-5 right now as they wait for Jalen Smith down the other end of the floor tying his shoe. All right, I think he's a guy we would wait for, don't you?
He's the way he's played so far, the way he's played the last couple games.
Yep.
He's been terrific. He has the ball right now. The former 2-time Maryland High School Player of the Year, Iowa, will try to drive.
Both of these teams snuffing the defense down. Shot clock down below 3.
It's now at 1. Morsell with a 3, and it's right there again. Maryland and Indiana shooting lights out to begin things here in Bloomington. 8-0 run by the Terrapins, who have just grabbed a hold of their biggest lead of this one.
So here's the shot. It looks like he got it off in real time.
Here are some of the numbers. We are just into this one in Bloomington, Indiana, and Jalen Smith. Stick Smith has been terrific. The last 3 games, he's averaged 20 points. He's averaged 10 rebounds, and in this one already, he is just eating him up with 11 points and 3 boards and 3 threes.
Well, the ability to step away, and that's going to drag the bigs for Indiana defensively out. It's going to allow him to work the offensive glass and his teammates to get in there, too. This guy is a sensational player in terms of his size, and you look at the surging Smith in his last 3 games. Pretty impressive numbers for a young player who's really figuring it out in terms of getting his game together.
And we consider the start, Jim, of the Terrapins in this one here in Bloomington this afternoon compared with what happened in Evanston a couple nights ago against Northwestern when they trailed by 14 points to Northwestern and came back and eventually won that game, but a completely different first half for them.
And Smith was the big guy in that second half, too. He ignited a big-time run. He had 21 points to really ignite that comeback. And now you're seeing Mark Turgeon and Maryland throwing a different look with a 1-2-1 zone to slow down Indiana a little bit. And they're going to continue. They have to focus on these shooters, even though generally you want to go to the baseline and make things happen there or slice by a perimeter defender.
Armin Franklin is in. Finney is in.
There you go.
On the wing, they have Anderson. They go to Brunk, and he can't on the doorstep put it down. Rebound by Jalen Smith. He's collected 4 for the Terrapins.
That's exactly how you want to attack it, though, Kevin, the 1-3-1. If they're going to slide 3 guys up to the foul line area and extend, that baseline pass is going to be wide open.
Marcel in the paint across the lane, got his own miss, kicks it back outside. That is a three, and it's no good from Scott. And out of bounds, ricochets off the Hoosiers. Maryland's ball.
Yeah, so you get a quick cut here for Brunk. He gets a good look. Just generally puts that one away very easily on a usual basis. Those are the ones you need to find to get that rhythm, get the crowd involved with it also.
Cowan comes in for Maryland, the senior who is number 5, as we said, in scoring in the Big Ten, taking the place of Sorrell Smith. Iowa on top. 2 consecutive wins for the Terrapins over Indiana, but Maryland, since they joined the Big Ten, has never won in Assembly Hall. Cowan will drive, and he's quick down that lane. Brunk with the rebound.
Yeah, he was trying to spin that one up off the glass. Could not. May have been a little bump there going towards the basket.
Tennessee's got some size on him, and outside they go. Long shot here. Franklin.
They spent a lot of time in practice just filling spots. When somebody drives the ball to the middle, you either look for a diagonal cross-court pass or you fill and replace, and that was a perfect fill and replace by Indiana.
Franklin's only shooting 16% from 3.
See how much Brunk has to really get around the guard.
He does. Brunk was so disruptive in that game against Izzo's Spartans the other night. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the completely free and always on sports network for non-stop highlights, breaking news, and expert picks. Download the CBS Sports app on your phone or connected TV device to watch today.
And not only is Brunk playing well in games for them, but in practice he just comes every single day. What kind of leader. He sets a great tempo for their practices, and it's contagious on the positive side. Back to the man-to-man look here for Maryland.
Tennessee seeing a lot more minutes now. He's had some health issues, certainly. They've lingered all season. Not completely 100%. Nice little toss up inside. Franklin puts it up and in. He is seeing more playing time. The former Indianapolis High School Basketball Player of the Year from Cathedral High in Indy.
And went scoreless against Rutgers a couple of games ago, but has picked up his play as of late. How about the curl just then and deciding and electing to shoot it with one hand?
Fearlessly, Cowan takes it in for 2.
Yeah, Cowan got to be careful just then. I think he yelled at the official for a second. This is going to be a player delay.
7 for Cowan, who has been all Big Ten the last 2 years. Second team last year, third team as a sophomore. And right now, in the last couple games, by the way, he has not been shooting well. He was 3 of 18 coming in over the last couple games. And this afternoon, he is 3 of 8 with a 3.
Yeah, only 2 of 10 in that win against Northwestern, too. 1 for 6 from the three-point stripe. Just struggling a bit.
Aaron Wiggins is going to pick up the foul right there. Fouls committed, by the way, for the Terrapins. And Mark Turgeon, the second fewest in the conference. Second fewest, only 15 a game. It's helped them.
This is a team also, Indiana, that goes to the line quite a bit in the NCAA numbers.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2. They just don't shoot them all that well. They go to get there about 26 times a game.
All right, Maryland is led by as many as 14. The Hoosiers have not led. 2 5-3 conference teams. 2 teams in the top 50. And the visiting Terrapins on top 40-29 on CBS. Star Trek Picard has arrived on CBS All Access, and it's a hit. Patrick Stewart returns as the legendary captain on an epic adventure. Now is the time to get on board. Start streaming now only on CBS All Access. And time now for Inside March Madness presented by Buick. Here the Indiana Hoosiers, Jimmy, have another chance to solidify their NCAA tournament resume. They've not been in 3 years.
Yeah, and if you work your way down on this graphic, Kevin, you see the 3-4 record here. Not too bad in terms of what's going on with it versus Quad 1. How about the strength of schedule also? And keep in mind they've beaten Florida State, Ohio State, and as we mentioned, that huge win against Michigan State on Thursday night here, where the building was rocking from the beginning to the end of that game for Archie Miller's team.
That was their 3rd Quad 1 win. People that follow college basketball know about the quad system. That was tapped up and in. And I think it was Justin Smith, indeed it was, who puts it up and through, the junior from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. The 3 Quad 1 wins for the Hoosiers. who were ranked last year, and should they win today, would certainly be in the rankings. But Maryland has been terrific so far. Under 4 to go in the first half. Cowan with the ball. Shot clock is at 6.
Yeah, they've been taking a lot of time off the clock.
3. Can't get it. They're trying to get it, and there is a foul, and it's called on Rob Finney, who is almost just at the wrong place at the wrong time more than anything else.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, too, because I don't think Smith was going to get to this basketball. Watch, but here's that little bit of the underwriting, and that's what they will look for, the officials. You see him get lower, the shorter player kind of riding the bigger player out. They're going to call that all the time.
Maryland, as we said, beat Indiana earlier on, so they're trying to sweep the series this season. Wiggins, there's another one. Same thing with Justin Smith.
And that was a set play out of that out of bounds to get a curl cut for Wiggins to come up to the top of the free throw line and get his shot off. There he is. But what does it do? It allows Smith to get that inside position. And Justin Smith has no choice but to push and lean against him.
Smith has one.
It's like a football possession, too.
Feels like it.
They're keeping it down this end of the floor.
Cowan kicking and poking his way, grinding inside, off shot there. It was good. He's a right-hander using his left hand to get 2.
And how about with Cowan, basically likes to post up on occasion. That was a small guy, but he used that dribble to post up down deep just then and used that pivot foot to get his shot off, as you mentioned, with the left. See if they double team. Now they're going to go one-on-one with him in the blocks.
Brunk. He's not hitting like he did the other night.
No, he's got it. They have to get him untracked a little bit down there. They're going to him enough. Just can't find the rhythm. He's being blocked just a touch. He's 0 for 3 from the floor.
Even though Indiana's shooting well from 3, they're not a good three-point shooting team, so they rely so much on those big guys like Brunk and Jackson Davis. There's a 3 from outside. Scott can't hit.
That was another one, too.
I know it. Franklin.
Yep.
Racing the other way. Gets it out. Hunter. He's already knocked in 2 threes. Bouncing around and picked up by Wiggins.
In the first game that these two teams played, Kevin, the turnovers allowed Maryland to go up and down the floor in transition. Here we go again. A little post-up action going towards the middle of the floor. And he gets Finney moving backwards. And as a guard who knows what you're doing with the basketball, watch how he zigzags on him. He spins, and he's got Finney out of position, and that's why the officials have to make that call, because he's not in good defensive position. He's reaching with his hands.
So Finney picks up his second. In that first game, Indiana in College Park lost it 75-59. They trailed by as many as 30 points in that game January 4th.
Here's another reason, Kevin, they don't give out whistles as giveaway items in this building.
Cowan is at the line, 77% coming up, and AT&T at the half. Adam and Seth have first half analysis. We'll take a look at all the other college hoops action from today around the country and last night. That's coming up from our CBS studios in New York, the AT&T at the half. Here's Cowan, who tested the NBA waters. They said, get a little bit heavier, get a little bit stronger, and you'll be ready to go. So he comes back for his senior year. He's on the verge of setting all kinds of records.
Why did you look at me when you said heavier?
I think you know why. It's the look. That's all I need to say.
Looking for the post up again. One of the things Indiana will do very well is they'll take it to the side of the floor and then look to the post.
Hunter had it, and inside with a nice floater going up and in. Devontae Green in a big game against Ohio State back on January 11th. 19 points, 18 at Maryland back in early January for Devontae Green, the brother of Danny Green, who plays in the NBA and was a terrific player at North Carolina.
But interesting enough, with Green, he's only had 5 points in the last few games, so he has not stepped up recently.
With the shot clock down to 9, here comes Cowan. He gets it off to Wiggins. Drives inside, works on Hunter. Looking for the big man, lost and out of bounds. It goes. Tomajic has come in for the first time for the Terrapins.
And watch, coming across this screen right here, he knows he has his defender on his back, a right-handed shooter. The defender's on his left side. He knows the guy behind him is not going to be affecting his shot. All he needs to look at and kind of pursue against the taller guys, and that's where that flip shot, so many guards have perfected that I would say 20 years ago, Kevin, that was almost an unheard of shot. You know, a little floater through the lane. Now guys at the guard position in particular have mastered it.
Tony Parker was one to really bring that back in vogue. And Steve Nash, Jerome Hunter is out, Demezy Anderson in. They go inside, bodies on the floor.
I don't think that bucket's going to count.
I don't think it is either. As Deron Davis got it.
Well,
they'll discuss.
Well, they're saying it was a shooting. Well, the Indiana players are saying it's a shooting. Now, I think personally that's a shot. Yeah, they're going to give him two shots on that. It came up short, and that's why on the offensive glass they had a putback just then. But that came up short because it was a shot.
Tomajic will pick up the personal foul for the Terrapins.
See, I don't think he's looking for the lob right there. I think it's just a short shot.
Indiana is number 2 in the country in free throws attempted. And this afternoon, they've only gone 1 of 1.
And the reason that's important, too, Kev, is the fact that both teams have only 5 team fouls. So if they called that on the floor, it would have been a side out or an out of bounds.
Allen and Smith will come in.
Get some offensive guys back on the floor for the last minute and 10 seconds.
Where this place was rocking a couple nights ago, and they've beaten number 11 Michigan State 67-63, just 8 turnovers. They scored well in the paint, plus 16. Their bench was terrific in that win over the Spartans. Now they're trying to beat another ranked team, 17th ranked Maryland, for a second consecutive time in this week. And Smith inside, can't get it. Big rebound by Justin Smith.
Now Indiana has to be smart with the ball right now. Wow, look at his drive.
Oh, with the drive, and he can't get it. Davis was there, hitting the deck hard was Durham.
Smart play because he had his strong hand the entire way. Look, he's a lefty. So what does he do? He sees wide open room because Davis for Indiana was moving to the middle of the floor. You see Davis right there. And this is a good call from the officials. Jalen Smith going for the block. Smart basketball play just then, because now it's basically a 2-for-1 opportunity that Indiana has going down the floor quickly. Probably get the last shot of this half.
Good strategy. 81% free throw shooter is Durham, a junior from Georgia, as they bring back in Morcell, and they're going to take out Jalen Smith. Free throw issues, though, have been, you talked about this earlier, against Michigan State, 11 of 20. Against Ohio State, Indiana was 20 of 36. Now, they're not getting to the line all that much, and they've only missed 1, and now they're 4 of 5 for the afternoon.
And what's been saving them the last 2 games is they shot 50% against Nebraska, 45% from the floor against Michigan State. So it's not the free throws that have helped them, it's their field goal percentage of all things.
Wiggins, met by the defense of Anderson.
Look at the way, Kevin, they're funneling in there. Every time somebody from CETA guys step in, they're trying their best to the weak side step in. Here it is. You see it?
And Cowan made a great move to get free. Then they had the clamp on him. They pinched him with 2 guys. And so he lost some of his space. But a nice dance. Watch this great crossover here.
Yeah, see, some people think he actually crossed it over 3 times.
I know he did.
1 through the leg, 1 back, and people think, well, why are you going through the legs? You're setting yourself up for a timing play. Helps to have a little speed to be able to do that, too, I might add.
Maryland led by 14. Now their lead is 7 before the half from Bloomington on CBS. 17th ranked Maryland has got the lead on Indiana as great as 14 points. That's been cut in half. We're just before halftime. Mark Turgeon, who has taken this team to the tournament for the last 5 years, will have the ball in about 24 seconds remaining in the first half here in Bloomington.
So watch for Cowan getting the delayed double screen, try to get him a free shot to the right corner. Covered pretty well, though, by Green.
Ayala on top. The defense by Durham.
Indiana has to remember that they'll probably have about 5 or 6, 7 seconds left on the shot clock after this attempt.
Ayala drives on Justin Smith. Got it. Pretty play. Eric Ayala.
And you got to hurry, though. Now it's down to 5. They had 7. They wasted 2 seconds.
Here comes Durham. Will he get it off in time? Too much dancing.
Yep.
And 0's on the clock. And the lead is 45-36. It's at 9. Indiana has not led in this game. two 15-4 teams, both 5-3 in the conference. 17th ranked Terrapins. And the Hoosiers looking for the upset. That's the end of the first half. The AT&T at the half after this message from your local station on CBS. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by AT&T. Back in Bloomington, leaving halftime with Maryland on top of Indiana with Jim Spanarkel, Kevin Harlan. Maryland never trailed in that first half. They shot 55% from the floor, and Indiana shot 52% from the floor. So, and we only had 6 turnovers and 21 assists, so it was really an efficient first half.
Yeah, and I thought that Maryland came into this building. I thought they'd be a little rattled with the crowd because they have not played well in first halves of recent games, but they played very well in this one. And I think one of the other things is that Indiana has to get their bigs involved down low. They've only taken 5 free throw attempts. This is a team that goes to the line about 25 times per game.
And as we take a look at the All-State first half statistics, you can see the turnover story. The bench of Indiana has been big, and Mark Turgeon's talked about continuing to develop the Terrapin bench. But Indiana getting the benefit right there. The biggest deficit for the Hoosiers was 14 in the first half.
Well, he starts Smith by stepping away, which is a great thing for Maryland. But as we've touched on, he's a Mr. Inside and outside. He's developed that outside shot. Cowan was just really testing the waters through the lane. Watch the body movement. May have gotten a nice little step across right there, but smart enough to understand we're just not going to win this game shooting three-point shots. We got to blend that in with interior play and the outside shot.
There's a look at the Terrapins, who have had one true road win, and that was a couple nights ago in Evanston against Northwestern. With a look at Anthony Cowan, who had 12 against the Wildcats. He has scored at least 16 points, Cowan has, in 10 of his last 15 games. With a look at Jalen Smith, Stick Smith, who has got the 2 straight double-doubles and is well on his way to his 3rd in a row. Playing well. We've got a couple guys in double figures for Maryland and no one in double figures for Indiana.
Yeah, Kevin, just a tag you mentioned about Cowan. You know, he's been shooting the ball, struggling in Big Ten play at 32%. And really hasn't shot the ball better than 50% in 9 games. So that's something to watch for to see if he can pick things up.
We have a quick foul, and it's called on Scott for Maryland. He picks up number 2. So here's what's happened in the last couple halves for Maryland. The big speech at halftime against Northwestern when they trailed by 14, and then from that point on, it's been a different look for this 17th ranked Terrapin team.
They have the clear pitch into Brunk on the post, but they have Smith lurking behind.
And Jackson Davis finally gets it to go, and Jackson Davis didn't take a shot the final 12 minutes of the first half.
Well, I think Archie Miller understands that if they're going to post one of these guys up, they're better off posting them not against Smith one-on-one, but that time against Scott. So a good decision in terms of who you're going to post up, not just a random post up.
Here's Cowan with the shot clock at 11 outside. They go. Dante Scott, long shot, no good. Nice aggressive rebound by Jackson Davis.
Decisions are so important now to start this second half for Indiana. Nice lob pass here, just go straight up, finish it off. So they did just that, Kevin. Get the bigs involved. 2 reasons. Number 1, you always like easy buckets, right? Number 2 is you're going to draw fouls, and this team needs to get to that free throw line, and now all of a sudden the fans have re-entered the position here.
Long 3, Cowan, no. Good looking rebound by Morsell, and a foul called on the Terrapins. Morsell picks up number 1 for Maryland.
So watch the touches. Indiana with some good adjustments at the half. Here's just a one-on-one straight in. And then you're going to see Brunk go to work with his big body. And over the top, there's a nice high-low. That pass initially coming from the left wing. What that does is it forces the defender to rotate. If you're a good offensive guy like Brunk is, you're going to rotate with him also.
Brunk a screen, pick and roll, down, meeting 2. Outside, Smith, 3. Brunk fights for it, volleyballs it, got it back. Kept it alive with that hustle inside.
And it was a smart pitch out, too, by Brunk because Jalen Smith was waiting for a block shot. So this set here, even though they did not score, very good decisions for Indiana as the shot clock gets down to 5.
It's a long shot. Durham got it! 12-2 run by Indiana. They're back in business.
And Maryland has no choice to go to the early timeout because all of a sudden Indiana has reappeared in terms of really going after Maryland and setting the tone in this one in the second half.
We're back in Bloomington, Indiana. Time now for a look at our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Yeah, Kevin, even though Archie Miller got 6 of 9 from the three-point stripe in the first half, he decided, I got to go down low to get my bigs involved. I'm not going to beat Maryland, even on my home floor, with just shooting the ball from long range. And then Durham kicks out. But what they've looked at is the inside-out first. Make sure you're really focusing on the blocks as much as possible. That will get the releases from the defensive team on the perimeter, both on the power side and the weak side.
And there's Joey Brunk. In the last 3 games, Jimmy's averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds. Truly, he has been this workhorse, this motor, this energy guy they've relied on.
And he was 0 for 3 in the first half, and I think 2 of his shots, if he had them back, obviously he would have scored. They were that easy. He just missed a couple. But when you miss a few shots, you have to keep reminding yourself, obviously you want to put it in, but I got the good shot. I did something right to get to that open shot, and I think he's the type of guy who will just continue to work, as we know.
Full court for the first time. Indiana has never led. Maryland's lead in the first half blossomed as high as 14.
You think this place will react if
Oh,
the kick ball if they get the lead?
Well, and considering they beat number 11 Michigan State here, and just before that they took care of Ohio State. And Archie Miller, who has reestablished this program, he says, with high school coaches in the state of Indiana and recruiting the state, is clutch, so important, he says, for the future of the program. He's 41. He played at North Carolina State, Archie Miller did. His dad was a coach, his brother the coach at Arizona. This is a perfect job for him. Smith with the drive and a foul as he went diving down the paint.
Yeah, that foul actually occurred before he got his shot off. It's a good call from the officials. It was a little body ride down low. Watch as he comes across. You'll see just a little bit of the hand on the shoulder. Good call from the officials. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Jackson Davis will pick up the personal foul. It is the 3rd on him. At the free throw line is Jalen Smith, who's just a sophomore from Mount St. Joseph High School in Baltimore. McDonald's All-America, 5-star recruit. 2 times the player of the year in the city of Baltimore. Be there live for the music event of the year with Billie Eilish, Lizzo, Aerosmith, Lil Nas X, Blake Shelton, Run DMC, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, and more. Alicia Keys will host the Grammy Awards live. That's tonight on CBS.
And he's a pretty good free throw shooter as he comes up long on that one. Little travel though by Scott. Good effort to go after the ball. Smith really though getting back his free throw. He's got good form at the line, shoots 75%. Mark Turgeon knows we got to steal everything from the free throw line as much as possible.
Well, they're number 2 in the Big Ten in free throw attempts and makes. And a good free throw team too from attempts standpoint, the Hoosiers. But today not getting up there as much as they want. 26 is what they average a game. And today, they've only got 5. Indiana does. Ball knocked away, chased by Rob Finney.
See if they invert the post up. By that, I mean getting a guard to go post up, maybe against Cowan down low.
Looking for maybe pick and rolls with Brunk, but here's Finney taking it himself. 14-3 run by Indiana. 8, and the Hoosiers have come to within 1.
Kevin, as a guard, you got to learn how to look over your shoulder and keep your head up. Finney did it perfectly just then, looking to his left to make sure a big wasn't going to cut off his drive to the basket. Nice defensive effort in the middle of the floor, too.
Sure was. Jerome Hunter with the deflection.
Watch his head and how he looks to his left. And the second bounce, I believe, is now watch. He starts to look just a little bit. He knows where Smith is, and that's why he doesn't go all the way to the basket, because he has a shot blocker there. That's why he chooses to shoot it from about 4 feet away. Nice decision.
5th consecutive start at their point guard position for Indiana today. Shot clock at 14 on the inbound. Here comes Eric Ayala.
A lot of screens, double set down low. Well defended, though.
Morsell, shot clock at 4. He'll take it down the lane.
Good no call.
A chance for their first lead. Finney.
Left side of the floor is open.
Hunter.
From 2.
Finney. Brunk for the lead.
Hey, Kev, you know, if I'm a guard and I have the ball and I'm trying to pass it to the post, you can tell me that you're a good receiver and you're ready to catch.
Yep.
Brunk just then gave me all the indications that I want the ball, and they gave it to him.
It's Cowan down low. A lot of congestion. Ball knocked away. Saves it. Got it into Smith. Whacked it and fouled.
Nice work by Cowan, too, to keep that play alive. Helping up the cameraman afterwards, too.
Justin Smith, too. So he's a good Samaritan as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yeah. But watch right here. Does Brunk want that ball? He not only wants it, but he wants to go quickly with it. Nice effort by Indiana in half court.
Adam, thank you. The defending national champions right there. Here in Bloomington, we have two of the legendary voices of college sports. Johnny Holiday, the longtime voice of the Terrapins, 41 years and 47 years, the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. And not only are they great broadcasters, they are terrific people and great representatives for college sports. And I had a chance to talk with both before the game. Legends in broadcasting, legends in college sports. Wonderful men. Wonderful game here.
Well, Indiana just really opened the doors a little bit in the second half here. Jalen Smith back to the free throw line, but the momentum, the crowd, everybody focused in on Indiana.
Yeah, the career high 25 at Northwestern. His dad, a retired Navy officer, grew up in the Baltimore area. Last year in the NCAAs, he was terrific, averaging 17 and 10. Here's a missed shot, and they fight for it with a foul call. And I think it went on Durham. It did for Indiana, and that'll be number one on him for number one. Lindo is in with Cowan and Ayala. The inbound will come from Aaron Wiggins. And, of course, Jalen Smith remains on the floor for the Terps. That's their 5. 4 minutes gone here in the second half. Wiggins
get it. Who wants it?
Finney does. He tries to dig it out. Tie up. Maryland's ball.
You know, Kevin, they talk about 50-50 balls, and I guess it is 50-50. But really, if you're playing this game correctly, when a loose ball is there, if you're positioning yourself, it's not 50-50 if you're playing defense correctly. You have a 55-45 edge if you're playing well, and that was a perfect example of that. He had the lead because he was paying attention defensively.
Good point. Cowan. 3. Good! What a shot by Jalen Smith. He's knocked down yet another 3. He's 4 of 4 from distance.
And that's been the main difference with him in the conference, the way he's been able to step out with his shooting on the outside, because I thought Cowan was going to shoot that from about 12 feet. A good look because he couldn't get his shot off. Gives Maryland a chance to come back with their zone.
I mean, to shoot like that at 6'10"?
Yeah,
wow. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, is that a weapon, isn't it?
Good fake by Finney in there with a floater.
Nice
Tip
tip.
is good. Justin Smith.
Remember in the first half, I said, Kevin, he had a chance to tip one in. He got his hand on it just like that, but that time he wasn't blocked out, so he could steer the shot a whole lot easier.
Indiana has made 7 of their last 8.
They like this weave to try to look for a cut. There's a backdoor cut that they missed.
And a steal by Smith, but a foul beforehand. That foul goes on Justin Smith, number 3 of Indiana.
Yeah, watch the presence here. Cowan drags Smith away from Smith, and it allows Finney just too much late to go after that. And then Smith at the end, the Indiana side, finishing it off. So, little action at both ends here.
This is the only Big Ten venue that Maryland has never won a game in. 6th year in the conference. Drive by Ayala!
Whoa. A 1-4 set. He was wide open, just didn't get his legs underneath.
Devontae Green the other way.
He'll
the stutter step in the 15-footer.
You got to watch. Green is just so good. Looking for opportunities coming off the bench. One of the best guys in this conference as he comes as a 6th man. Probably the best 6th man.
Wiggins making a move. Cowan's got the ball, but look at them crowd around him. Wiggins is free. Step back triple. It's picked up. Devontae Green. Here come the Hoosiers.
Remember, Kevin, at the beginning of this game, we said, will the crowd affect Maryland? It did not affect them in the first half. Let's see if the next 3 or 4 minutes they get affected by it. They seem to be rattled a touch, picking up their pace a little faster than what they want to go.
Senior Green.
Watch for the dump down again.
Phinisee carving his way.
Whoa. Nice ride against Ayala just then.
He's got 10.
Even though he's a right-handed shooter, he got his body right up against the defender to give himself some separation, even to get it off in traffic.
Phinisee's got 10. He averages 7. Cowan making a move. Oh, what a great acceleration for 2.
Does he ever recognize when they can't shoot the three-point shot, take a fourth shot? He knows, as an experienced senior, it's time for me to go to the hoop and get something done. Still in this zone, you don't see any motions at all, so somebody might flash into the middle here to make it happen, but you got to get a guy who can handle the basketball and make a decision with it.
Indiana shooting 60% from the field. Brunk.
There you go. Fill it into the middle of the floor, and Brunk using that right-hand little flip shot, but that will force Maryland to make adjustments, because that middle of the floor is going to be wide open. You get either a guard or a forward to slice and drive it, kick it, pass it. Good set there by Indiana.
All 6 have come in the second half from Brunk. Ayala. Smith. Foul. Indiana.
And what have they done? And on the fly, Mark Turgeon has turned this team back from a three-point shooting team into a driving team. So smart decisions by both coaches as this game wears on with their strategies.
Brunk picks up number 1, the Butler transfer. For both these teams with difficult schedules. For the Terrapins, in the midst of a 4-game and 5 stretch where they're playing 4 on the road, the 8th most difficult schedule to date in college basketball. Tuesday at 9 Eastern, Kamar Baldwin leads 13th ranked Butler to take on Mac McClung in Georgetown in the Big East battle on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And on the other side, Indiana is projected, Jim, to have the most difficult strength of schedule in college basketball from this point on, the remainder of the season.
Well, he's saying buckle up, Indiana.
Buckle,
I guess.
harness yourself in. Both teams.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Well, because you're playing in this conference, right?
Yep. The best conference in the country.
By default, the games are going to be difficult.
11 teams may be in right now. They've got 11 within the top 50 with a foul on Tomajic.
So a little hockey substitution for Indiana. Get some fresh legs in there.
I like it. Both teams relying on their benches more, they say, as the season goes on. They're going to have to, they both say.
Indiana 20-9. Watch out, we come.
Cowan, though, reaching in there aggressively. Cowan, number 1. Cowan is at 1-3. If he hits one more, he'll be number 6 all time at Maryland. In his free throw shooting, he's at 1. If he hits 3 more, he'll be number 2 all time in free throw shooting at Maryland. The senior who decided to come back, and it's paid off. Little zone here.
Yeah, and notice the way the gold shirts are kind of in the middle of the floor, converging to force it to the outside.
That's a 3 once again. Jerome Hunter, another 3. He has hit 3 for the season. He came in 6 of 31. Unbelievable.
And percentage-wise, as Cowan goes back through the middle of the floor, I think he was tricked going through. But against the script from Indiana's perspective in terms of shooting the ball from the outside.
I mean, here's a kid, Hunter, who comes in 6 of 31 for Marshall shooting threes, and he's knocked in 3 in a big conference game here on national TV. That is amazing. Indiana didn't have a lead until the second half, now up by 6. Biggest this afternoon.
So do you shoot your way back in? Smith's going to let us know. I don't know. I'm not sure they're going to a 30% three-point shooting team on the season. I think you play this inside out again, because this is what Indiana's doing.
Jackson Davis.
Notice the difference in styles now taking over. Looks like Turgeon may call a timeout right now.
Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Verizon, the network more people rely on. Expedia, connect every detail for every fan and every trip. And by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. Well, the entire crew of We Need to Talk was here on Indiana's campus Friday for a full day of events, including a taping of the show in front of a live audience of students. Catch the next We Need to Talk on February 12th at 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Here, Indiana on a 13-2 run over number 17 Maryland.
Well, here's that inside-outside game. Hunter shooting the ball from long range. And I just like the different shifts, the different blending of offense. Jackson Davis, little floater, getting away from the defender to get his shot off. So Archie Miller has really mixed up his offensive blends, but focusing initially on the blocks and getting it started from the inside out.
Trace Jackson Davis, his stepdad, Ray, in the NFL, his biological dad, Dale Davis, who played, as we know, a terrific college career, then in the NBA with a couple teams, including the Indiana Pacers, with a guy named Reggie Miller. Maryland's down by 8. Biggest deficit this afternoon. With the ball, Jalen Smith against Jackson Davis with a nice hesitation for the deuce.
And he knows enough to go extending and using that body to get across the paint. That's a nice call from Mark Turgeon on the bench, Kevin, because they know they're not going to shoot their way through this, I don't think, especially on the road with Indiana. So come out, time out, get yourself a nice set.
He's got 20. Here's a 3 by Green. And reeled in nicely by Smith.
Boy, these fans are involved, aren't they?
They are. He's got 9 boards. In the corner, open triple. Scott. Picked up by Jackson Davis.
Scott at 31%, a little quick on the trigger just then. And to make Indiana work. Watch out.
Hold on! Oh! As they're going up top there and climbing the ladder, Jackson Davis. Now here's Cowan with the senior and a lot of veteran leadership in his palm, and off to Smith.
They're going back to that block again. Let's see if they double team it. Green looks like he's going to run at him. There it is a little bit.
Little hedge. 3 Smith.
Just enough by Green to force that to the outside. Play to percentages.
Franklin got tangled up. Cowan, he'll pick up the foul. Cowan's got his second here in Bloomington this afternoon.
Sometimes things have to be perfect for the alley-oop to work. I think this was just a little too far out for him, and he couldn't get his body and shoulders going towards the rim to finish that off.
They'll take out Hunter. They get back in Justin Smith. 15-4 Indiana. Same record for the Terrapins. 5-3 the Terps in the Big Ten. Same for Indiana. 1 true road win for Maryland all season. 12-1 home record for Indiana. Green.
Nice catch.
Was athletic. A lot of traffic.
Yep.
He's looking for Davis, and it ricochets out of bounds.
Yeah, that's when he threw the fastball, and he should have thrown the slider to him on that one, because that thing was by him before he had a chance to see it.
Think about Archie Marshall, what he's had to prepare for. The other night, Cassius Winston. Today, Anthony Cowan.
Right.
Those are the 2 best guards in this conference, maybe in the country.
Yeah, both of them play point guard well, obviously, but also off the ball, like you see right now with Cowan. They'll run him off some screens, but they continue to look to the post, and he's going to drive it. Whoa.
Wow. That's banging right into the backpedaling defense of Deron Davis. By the way, that was Indiana's first turnover in 23 minutes at the other end with the drive here by Cowan.
Now,
fearlessly.
I know he has no place to go here, but defensively, there's not good defensive position. You always have to just say, even if you're in decent defensive position, who created the contact? And I think it was pretty clear just then that the contact went against Davis. Wow.
Rolling out. Retrieved by Smith. Terrapins led by 14 points in the first half. And it disappeared here in the second. Good save there by Franklin.
One-on-one, he likes to go to the middle.
Jackson Davis to Davis. That's Deron Davis. Davis to Davis.
Now that was the slider that he threw to him. And you see the results right there. Make a good pass, bring the defender to you. It's a little easier to play it that way. Well-designed play with the big guys, because Jackson Davis likes to go to the middle of the floor.
Jalen Smith right there got great position.
They continue to feature him on the blocks. Smart.
Very smart.
Combination between that and also Cowan driving the ball to the middle of the floor. Then you get some of your shots to go, because Maryland started 9 of 14 from 3, and they're only 1 for 10 since.
Jalen Smith has 22 for the Terrapins. Good entry pass. Doubled.
Nice defensive
Deron
effort.
Davis to Jackson Davis. Davis to Davis again.
Wow. That was a difficult pass, too, I'll add.
It was.
Because he was double-teamed in a hurry by Maryland. Nice reaction. Boy, do they have it working down in the post.
And Jalen Smith a 3, and then he got fouled on the play by Deron Davis outside.
And I think it's the right call, too, Kevin.
Deron Davis picks up his third. 3 free throws for Jalen Smith.
Just keep wondering why guys are trying to block threes. You very infrequently see it, and the times you do, it's rare. I think he's going to get him. He's coming around the screen. I think he gets the arm. He goes by with the body.
So Maryland comes in number 17. In the net rankings, they're number 14. They've not had a single bad loss this season. 9 of their final 12 games, including today, against Quad 1 opponents. And Jim, they've got the second most Quad 1 and Quad 2 wins in the country. They've got 8. So they've really been effective, and one when they've had to with their 15 wins. This quad system breaks it down a little bit more detail for people that like those kind of analytics.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different weighting system, which I like.
Late night on CBS, what will Stephen Colbert say as history unfolds in Capitol Hill? The explainer-in-chief breaks it all down on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, new this week after your late local news on CBS. The quad system.
Yeah, I think it's a neat way of doing it, because it stretches it out in terms of putting more variables into the equation. But this year, I mean, I think it's going to throw people off with whatever ranking you look at, because of what's happened. And just go back to the number ones that have all gotten knocked off. That's happening across the board, but we seem to focus on just the number ones. It's just going to be a fun NCAA tournament because of that. And I'm not sure with the weightings and the seedings there's going to be all that much difference, to be honest with you.
Could be as many as 11, 12 Big Ten teams to get in. With a move here down low now by Franklin. Yeah. Shot clock is down to 9. Up top they go to Green.
Good turnaround by Franklin to get it out of there.
Indiana 29-9 run. 3, no. And Deron Davis gobbles it up. Outside, Franklin.
Wow.
Inside, grabbed Hunter. More offensive rebounding.
Nice step in here.
Green 3.
Well done by both players just then. Read the play if you're Green. Where's the action going? The action's going from the left side to the right side. I have to fill and anticipate coverage, and I'll be wide open for my shot. That's well done.
Indiana's rebounding second half much, much better.
Yeah, both of these teams are very good rebounding teams, Kevin, when you look at the differentials. But they just pound that glass. Sometimes they put shots up on the glass just so they can go after them on the offensive side. But here's Davis and Davis. This one here is a beauty, a little rip around, and Jackson Davis was ready to catch it. But there's the fill. When he steps into it, you're not only receiving the pass in rhythm, but you're getting your shot off in rhythm.
Next Saturday on CBS, an early afternoon tip-off in the American Conference when UConn matches up with Memphis, Connecticut, and Memphis at 1 Eastern. Then it's one of the most electric PGA Tour events of the season. Coverage of the Waste Management Phoenix Open starts at 3 right here next Saturday on CBS. That's our game reset. Indiana this half. 17 times they've had the ball. They've gotten 14 scores, and this equals their biggest lead of the game.
Archie Miller said we can't turn the basketball over. We have to limit our mistakes. Green gave them a nice punch off the bench. Brunk, I love that little post up. But it's the mixture of the inside-outside players that they have. And that's why Archie Miller has also said that February is going to be an interesting month, because January we have grown almost week by week to become a better team in this month. And
how about just in what they've done from this point to last year at the same time last season? Remember, they were struggling in the middle of a 7 consecutive game Big Ten losing string. How much things have switched in 1 year for this Indiana program, and where they may be headed, missing the tournament the last 3 years.
It'll be interesting from this point on to see what Maryland does. Right now, Indiana has 19 fouls. So if you're thinking Maryland, you have to think towards the basket initially. You want to get to that double bonus as quickly as you can. I'm sure they had a little conversation about that during that break.
Maryland this half. Smith has got 12. Collins got 4. Nothing from the rest of the team. It's got to be more diversified. Here's Brunk, who gave him an early push to get over the hump in this second half. He was terrific early on. 6 points right off the bat.
Straight up man-to-man effort there. They had a quick little bump there out front.
It's going to be on Morsell.
Yep.
Daryl Morsell, a junior from Baltimore, will pick it up. And he picks up his second personal foul with 6:57 to play in the second half.
Let's see if the hands come out at left when you can't see it. You see it, now you can. A little touch, push. Good call from the officials. Anytime you extend your hands, they're going to call it, especially if you're dribbling.
Both teams
Watch
are in the
out.
bonus. Oh, my goodness, you're right.
Man, that was a good catch. I thought we had some chance to get that one over here.
Well, your hands were up, I know that. Here on top now, Finney.
That means you would have got hit with the ricochet.
Finney off on the side. Here comes Green, launching from deep. Picked up inside. Nice rebound. Nice pickup there by Morsell.
Yeah, to keep Smith off his back.
Wiggins. That's a 3. No. Picked up. Green. Ahead it goes. And up and in. Jerome Hunter, who's mainly been scoring from outside with 3 threes. He comes up with a nice 2-point one right there.
And they get the transition because of a quick shot in the corner.
Cowan will drive. With the fouls, he took it down that congested lane.
You know, so many times you see nowadays when you have the numbers coming down the floor, guys just flare to go to the three-point line. That's an old-fashioned 3-on-2 break and run as well as you give him a big lift this afternoon with his 11 points.
Terrapins have the best defense in the Big Ten, forcing turnovers. They don't foul that much. Cowan is at the free throw line right now, but Indiana today, they shot 47, make it 59%, 47 shots. They've made 28, 59%. So that defense has not been as gripping as it has been in the past for the Terrapins.
And Cowan at the line at 77%. Makes that second one, but when he misses a shot, you can just see him like beating himself up internally.
And Indiana scoring in the paint too in this half, 22-6. It was 16 points, as they were the other night in that win over Michigan State in the lane. That's where and you've talked about it all game long.
Watch for the slide cut to the basket. There it is right there. They had it for a second.
Nice entry pass. Brunk from Tennessee, rejected inside by Smith. Shot clock is down to 8. You're right, under 6 to go. The drive by Tennessee, no. Picked up inside by Justin Smith, no. Brunk tries to get a hand on it. Here comes Cowan, numbers the other way. Now the defense there, Ayala in the corner. Wiggins, 3, in and out. Indiana the other way. Foul called on Morsell.
The activity going towards the Maryland end is pretty good in their selective transition, but they continue to shoot the ball from long range. Sooner or later, those numbers that they had in the first half, where they really shot the ball well from the outside at 52%, they're going to start to come back to their normal average. I'd like to see them still go towards the basket with those selective runouts.
Morsell will pick up his 3rd. Started today and come off the bench the last 3 games. There's Brunk getting a breather with 5.5 to go. And at the free throw line, they got Rob Finney. He's had those lingering injury issues throughout this season. He's not been 100% really all year.
Yep,
but he's got through it.
Rebound, yep.
There goes Ayala, who
we just showed those numbers in terms of the free throw shooting. They shoot a lot of them, even though not today. Their number overall not great at all, 68%.
Cowan on the wing. Maryland began the season in the preseason top 10. Driving is Cowan. Picked up by Morsell. Doubled and up and in.
That was a beautiful read by Morsell because everybody on Indiana thought they were doing a 2-man game. So Cowan could flip it back to Smith for the long shoot, the shot from 3-point range. Good decision there by Cowan and Morsell.
Good body language too now by the Terrapins. You can see it. They're down by now 5.
Yeah, a little better bounce in their step.
Yes, you're right. Finney the drive. Nice defense off of Indiana. It's Maryland's ball.
Double tip.
4:50 to go.
And watch, Cowan gets back into it. There's the strip, and there's the touch. Huge possession, both ends.
It
right
sure
here.
is. Ayala with the defense in front of him. Durham.
Oh, that's a lazy, long bounce pass just then.
Cowan.
A little sloppy. Regroup. This is where a senior can regroup with talent.
Trying the pick and roll. Cowan will accelerate himself. Hooking it outside. Smith with a three. Off. He's missed a couple in a row now after beginning 4 of 4 and picked up at the other end. Hold on! Down it goes! Jackson Davis! What a pass from Durham!
What a great run out, too, Kevin, in terms of getting down the floor in a hurry for a terrific decision. We've seen 2 transition buckets by Indiana that's been run perfectly.
Cowan on top, defensive Finney. Ayala works inside. Rebound by Trace Jackson Davis. Finney outside. Durham. Nope, off and picked up by Morsell. Aggressive rebound. Through the lane, the fake, and the 2. Big play. Daryl Morsell.
And how about the difference in their break just then? Instead of flaring to the corners looking for threes, you got to win this at the free throw line and going towards the basket. And this is just pretty basketball here with Durham going upstairs. He knows exactly what Jackson Davis can do once he catches it. Little 2-on-1 action on the break and the finish.
Coming up next on CBS, the first PGA Tour event of the season continues with coverage of the Farmers Insurance Open from beautiful Torrey Pines in San Diego. That's next right here on CBS. Tiger is 4 off the lead, Leishman on top. But look at the names, Reed and Snedeker and Watson. If Tiger would win, he would pass Sam Snead for the most PGA Tour wins in history. And, well, there's some kids listening to our broadcast right there.
Well, you were the one speaking, not me.
All right. Guilty as charged. All right, we've got a 71-66 games. Maryland led by 14 in the first half. Indiana didn't have a lead until the second half. And they got back in it by what you talked about. Go down low, stick with what got you here, and that turned the game around.
Yeah, and to me, it's going to be interesting who is going to really try to live in the paint and at the free throw line in the last 3.5 minutes of this game.
Morsell, 74% free throw shooter, the junior from Baltimore. For the Maryland Terrapins, number 17. We got the first one, audiences across America are watching this one with Indiana and Maryland. A lot of interested eyes. 4-point game. Durham. And they get it off to Green. Durham again. And Cowan right on him.
Yeah, Green will look to score, no question about it.
Over 2 defenders, including Smith and Morsell, came in off the side.
And there's the first possession for Indiana. Where'd they go with it? They went through the middle of the floor looking to get to the free throw line. Now the key becomes, are they going to hit their free throws?
Morsell picks up number 4. The Indiana Hoosiers have had 5 consecutive wins over ranked teams here at Assembly Hall. 3-0 this season, beating Florida State, Ohio State, and Michigan State. Audiences across the country love the new FBI Most Wanted on CBS. As the clock is ticking, this elite FBI fugitive task force hunts down the most dangerous criminals in America. Watch the new hit thriller FBI Most Wanted Tuesday night, 10/9 Central.
And Green, 65%. Kev hits 2 of them right there.
How about that?
Yep. Trouble there with that entry pass. That was a good stop by Jalen Smith, but a double dribble.
There was. Yep. Violation, turnover.
Yeah, he stopped it and dribbled at the same time, which is good as having a possession. Let's take a look. So here he stops it. No, you know what? He didn't dribble it. So he was allowed to dribble at the second time, I believe.
It's only the 5th turnover for the Terrapins.
Big call, though, to go against them.
Green, screened by Jackson Davis. Durham picked up by Ayala.
A little far out now, about 8 feet away.
Jackson Davis, Smith is there. Up and under, knocked away. Great knock away by Smith. Picked up by Jackson Davis. Shot clock at 3. They got to fire. Hunter, desperation, foul as he shot. Wiggins will pick it up for the Terrapins, number 2. They may have to review this and see if the shot clock went off.
Right, exactly. Which they can do. So let's take a look. I'm going to look actually at whether it's 2 or 3 shots there.
But they probably should look at the clock as well. But of course, if he's going up. Remember that Michigan State game a couple nights ago? He had a couple important late free throws. Remember that for the Hoosiers?
He sure did. He sealed it, actually.
Yep, he sure did. Playing more now. Jerome Hunter is a freshman out of Pickerington, Ohio. Went to North High School. Boy, the Big Ten road is tough. Big Ten home conference games, the record for a home team in the Big Ten this year, 47-12. Think of it, 47-12.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Redo your schedule.
Yes. It's Iowa. Lead back to 7. Biggest lead for Indiana has been 8.
One thing they don't need to do is hurry.
Cowan 3. Good! What a shot!
Nice little roll over Jalen Smith. Not much of a screen. It was more of an exchange out front.
Cowan got that to go down. He's now number 6 all time, passing Johnny Rhodes in Maryland Terrapin basketball history with that 3.
Cowan going for that steal with his left hand.
That's a 3. Green, no. And picked up inside with the Maryland rebound by Wiggins. Back over to Cowan.
That was a nice block out by Wiggins, too, just then.
4-point game, 3 right here by Smith, no. Rebound by Devontae Green.
A little quick on the set. I think you have the time to make Indiana work a little bit at the defensive end of the floor just then.
Indiana shooting 54% from the floor. And they lead in rebounding by 6. And that is big for them. Shot clock at 7. Green will drive.
Well, does he have a great understanding of how to use his body first? He's searching out the contact. He gets it. And guards who know how to score will search out contact first and then worry about their shot second.
Jalen Smith will drive on Jackson Davis and get it to drop. 4-point game, 1:07 to go. Indiana, Maryland on CBS. That's our score. That's our reset. With 1:07 to go here in Bloomington for Indiana, Devontae Green.
You just hope to get somebody off the bench playing well. And this guy is terrific for Indiana in terms of really being consistent, shooting the ball from the outside. And as a coach, Archie Miller just loves to be able to turn to a guy from the bench and say, hey, get in there and do what you do. And well done by Green, really keeping the pressure on with the basketball.
On the other side, Jalen Smith has a new career high 27 for the Terrapins. He had 25 the other night against Northwestern. That was a career high. So in 2 games, he's had 2 new marks. So here we go. Full court pressure by the Terps.
Nice deflection.
And it was picked off, and here comes Smith.
Don't hurry yet. Plenty of time.
The other way.
Yep.
Thinking 3. Wiggins 3. Good! What a shot! It's a 1-point game with 55 seconds to go.
And a nice decision there to come up, not fouled because it was only a 4-point game with a minute and change. So now you just play smart defense.
And this is what Maryland does so well, defense.
Nice stop here. That's another good double
Look
team.
at the trap.
Wow, that was a bad spot to stop.
Now here's Green. Iola's on him on top in a 1-point game.
See, now they're in trouble now. They've got to go quicker than this.
Green, 5 to fire. Rebound, Maryland, picked up by Wiggins. Maryland, no timeouts. Indiana's got 2.
Yeah, I think you play it quick and start getting towards the basket. You don't want to settle. There you go. Nice cut, nice kick.
Bump, up, and down for the lead.
Well done.
Jalen Smith with a great feed on top.
Kevin, a lot of teams will sit back in that situation, down a point, and they'll say, you know what, maybe we should go for the game winner. Forget about that. You want to go after it and go after it quickly, and they finish it off down low.
Close one here, 14 seconds in regulation. Final round coverage of the Farmer Insurance Open is next on CBS and is available now on PGAtour.com and CBSSports.com. The final round coverage of the Farmers Insurance Open. All right, Indiana will have it 14.5 and down by 1.
So when you start to think about Indiana's offense right now, they have enough time to make a couple of passes, but with probably they're very, very good at setting a high screen, coming off of it, looking for a slip cut to the basket, and/or quickly looking for the opposite side of the floor. So 2 things to keep in mind in terms of the way they're going to execute here. Now, if you are Maryland, you're going to just look to see what they're going to do. Are they going to extend a little bit, or are they going to go back and switch up their defense? I think they're going to stay with it and take some time off the clock defensively, force Indiana to go a little bit more in a hurry-up offense than they really want to.
Jerome Hunter will inbound. The full court pressure is there. Maryland, no timeouts. Indiana's got 1.
Where's the high screen? Get a high screen for him.
Finney. Jackson Davis against Smith. And for the lead. That's it. Maryland survives and wins. What a finish. The Terrapins have won 77-76. 29 points for Smith with 11 rebounds, a double-double again, 3rd in a row. Here is a shot by Jackson Davis.
Well, they get a terrific shot just then in terms of being able to put this game away. Kevin, I think the fumble out front cost them 2 seconds of time.
You mentioned
to go after it a little quicker. And it was just I thought it was a great set. Look at the Indiana bench. They say, this is the shot we want, but it doesn't go.
Indiana led 76-70 with 1:08 to go. 7-0 run by Maryland the last 68 seconds. For the Terrapins, 3rd straight win. 6 in their last 8. For Jim Spanarkel, Kevin Harlan, so long from Bloomington, Indiana. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports. We'll send you out to the final round coverage of the Farmers Insurance Open from Torrey Pines in San Diego after these messages on CBS Sports. Hey everyone, Kevin Harlan alongside Jim Spanarkel here in Bloomington to recap our game between 17th ranked Maryland and the Indiana Hoosiers. It was some kind of setting for a Big Ten matchup of 2 teams that had the same record in the conference, same record overall. Maryland had never won a game here. And the surging Hoosiers really came in with a great deal of momentum, beating Michigan State earlier in the week. All that being said, it came down to the final seconds of the game.
It did. You have to give credit to Maryland the way they played. I thought they'd be rattled a little bit at the beginning of this game. They hung tough the whole way. Here they go with a down dump for Smith. He gets the basketball, and his size and length takes over for that game-winning bucket count with a beautiful pass. And then here, Jackson Davis gets the basketball, and look at this. They get a great shot, but not enough time for an offensive rebound or a second-chance opportunity. So I thought they could have played a little quicker, Indiana, getting it to the basket just then, but what a game this was.
You mentioned Jalen Smith, who's just a sophomore, but he now has put together 3 consecutive double-doubles, and including the 25 points he had in Evanston, Illinois earlier this week against Northwestern, a career-high 29 this afternoon with 11 rebounds, 3rd straight double-double.
Yeah, and the thing about him, he steps away early on in this game, and that starts to reestablish his post-up game. He's so long in the length of him to be able to finish shots off, but if he can blend as he did, little pick and pops, shooting the basketball from the three-point line. Boy, what an offensive player.
He was terrific. And the guard play, of course, we watched all game with Cowan, the terrific senior who's the leader, the heart and soul of that Maryland team. Yep. And then on the Indiana side, they had Devontae Green, who is a senior himself, and came in and showed leadership and got this Indiana team back into it.
Just really knows his role. That's the one thing I would say about him, and he obviously executes his role very well. Shoots the ball from long range, 16 points. But the challenges, the understanding of when he has to blend it in because he's an experienced player, like you just mentioned, Kevin. So I thought he was exceptional in terms of what he provided for Archie Miller's squad.
All right, Jim, let's take us now from this point on. We're about halfway through the conference schedule, so we see we came into the day with 8 teams within 2 games in the conference, which is the best conference in college basketball. So I have a feeling it's going to stay this close to the rest of the way.
This conference is going to be great for the fans that watch this on a night-in and night-out basis, because I think the number one thing is, number one, you love to have a lot of good teams in the conference, but sometimes you're going to lose to those teams. Right. But when you're actually losing to them, you're not losing bad games. So it's a nice blend that most of these teams won't get hit too badly in terms of they'll be able to stay in the NCAA hunt.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers right now. Indiana shot very well in this contest, over 50%, in fact 52.6. The rebounding advantage also went to the Hoosiers, +4. And they had 3 in double figures. Jackson Davis had 13 points and 8 boards, 10 for Finney, 16 for Green, who is clutch, as we talked about. And the double-double for Smith of Maryland, who had 29 and 11. I'd like to remind you, spend next weekend on the court with CBS, starting on Saturday with American Conference action between Connecticut and 20th-ranked Memphis. Then on Sunday, it's a Big East battle between Georgetown and St. John's. College hoops here on CBS. For Jim Spanarkel, Kevin Harlan, that's our final. 17th ranked Maryland coming from behind to take care of Indiana, 77-76.